What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel Hand Waving. Your friend Naruto Addict 2.0 is here again with a brand new Naruto fanfic that's going to change everything. A story where Naruto is betrayed and banished. But destiny has bigger plans for him. From exile to emperor, this is the journey of power, strategy, and love. Today's fanfic is titled, Which is What If Naruto Formed Harem with Tsunade, Mei, Anko, Mabui, Samui, Karin, Konan, Yugito, and all other mature kunoichi of Konoha Part 1. If you enjoy intense Naruto stories and epic world building, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more fanfics like this. Now sit back, relax, and let the legend begin. Naruto rubbed his aching head as he came to, climbing to his feet shakily. What? He grunted in pain as his head stung. The memory came back in a flash, distorted by a distinct crimson haze. The grass shinobi mused quietly, Naruto in her grasp. It seems the Kyuubi brat is still alive. She then opened his orange jacket and rolled up his shirt. The grass kunoichi was amused at what she saw. On the boy's stomach was an intricate seal on the boy's stomach, so this is the seal. The Kusagaker kunoichi moved her right hand behind herself, a mini purple fire lighting up on each fingertip. Naruto thrashed in her grasp, trying desperately to free himself. The ninja's amazingly long tongue, however, would not relinquish him from its grasp. Hey! He shouted, wriggling as much as the foreign appendage would allow. Let me go. The super powerful grass ninja, who was actually Orochimaru in disguise, thrust his flaming fingers into Naruto's unprotected abdomen, crying, Gogyo Fuin. Naruto's face contorted into a silent scream as the hubby Sennin's agile digits dug into his stomach, clenching around the soft flesh. The red bled from his irises as the Kyuubi's chakra disappeared, returning his eyes to their natural blue. His canine teeth shrunk to their original size and his nails were once more blunt and soft. Then, without warning, the blonde boy slumped, unconscious. The grass kunoichi thus tossed him into the depth of the abyss. All Naruto heard was a scream. Uck! Naruto gripped his head as white chakra now was forming around him. Its energy sizzled, crackled like food under the stove. The white energy hissed into his body, bringing forth Naruto great pain, who screamed. He screamed when memories suddenly flashed once more. Naruto still screamed. For a brief second he saw a red-haired woman being held by a blonde-haired man. Naruto, a feminine voice echoed his mind. My Naruto, don't be a fussy eater, eat a lot and grow up to be a big boy. Go to bed early and sleep well, take your bath every day. The voice coughed. She sounded to be in pain. Make friends, it doesn't matter how many. Just make sure they're real friends, people you can trust, even a few is enough. And study your ninjutsu. I was never good at it, maybe you will be. Everyone has things they are good at and things they are not. So don't feel bad if you can't do it all. Make sure you listen to the teachers at the academy. Naruto's head span as he kept screaming. The white chakra whirled around him as tails of white chakra began to sprout. Each hit him. 1, 2, 3. And remember, avoid the 3 vices of the shinobi. Don't borrow money if you can help it. Save what you earn from missions. No drinking alcohol until you're 20 and don't overdo it or you'll ruin your body. 4, 5, 6 tails hit him. It felt like 1,000 lashes. And as for women, well, I'm a woman so I don't know what to say, but there are only men and women in this world, and you'll want a girlfriend someday. Just try not to pick a weird one, try to find someone like your mother. A man spoke now, another warning: watch out for Jiraiya sensei. The voices grunted, but the female voice again spoke. This time was very sad. Naruto, you are going to experience a lot of pain and suffering. Flashes came, people scowling at him. There was anger, sadness. Freak. Monster. Mom said I can't play with you. He's that boy. Demon. Remember who you are. Find a goal, a dream, and don't stop trying until it comes true. The female voice spoke again. Bring forth another memory. I want to be Hokage. The greatest of them all, Naruto yelled, standing in front of the class. Everyone soon laughed at him. Like you can be Dobi, A boy with a dog in his head insulted, you failed twice now. Yeah, Naruto baka. A pink-haired girl yelled when everyone now threw insults at him. One word was the most consistent of them all. Dobi. There's so much more I want to say, to teach you about, I want to stay with you. I love you, my baby. Weeping can be heard as Naruto felt great sorrow, the woman was crying. I'm sorry Minato, I took all your time, she said when the male voice entered now. It's okay, Naruto, this is your dad. Listen to your motor mouth. Mother and I want you to be the greatest ninja, okay? Naruto screamed as loud as he ever has. 7, 8, 9, now all the tails entered. 8 trigrams seal. Both the female and male yelled. Arg. Naruto fell to his knees and became unconscious. What he didn't know was that he stood before the seal. The white chakra surged into the cage and 2 red slitted eyes opened. It spoke, I am complete. Uck. Naruto groaned softly, now waking up, shaking of the water on his face. He looked around, his expression a bit dazed still. Where? A sewer is what he saw. Pipes that leaked a bit hit the water, creating dripping sound. He looked around and was surprised to see a huge cage before him. A cage? Naruto said, still confused to where he was. Where am I? Last thing he remembered, he'd been in the Forest of Death during the second part of the Chunin selection exams and he had fought against a strong Kusagaku ninja. He had been surrounded by trees and roots and then darkness. So where was he now? The only place that had sewers was the Konoha sewers he used to venture to when he was little. This isn't no ordinary sewer, and this cage, the blonde thought as he looked at the cage, a cage. He walked to the cage and touched the bars. So, a deep voice, like the rolling thunder, spoke. Nearly jumping out of his skin, he suddenly froze, coming face to face with a crimson fox. You're finally here. Its fur were like fire, wild and uncontrolled. It matched the fox's expression as its expression contained rage, full of rage. Smacking can be heard as Naruto saw 9 flames behind the beast. Uzumaki. Naruto began to tremble, his feet refused to move. It is nice to meet you, my jailer. The fox spoke, its voice brought shivers to his spine. Naruto felt its hot breath making him sweat. Tell me, do you know who I am? The fox moved closer, its glowing red eyes boring into his own. Can you say it with that tiny mouth of yours? Kyuubi, Naruto stammered. This was true fear he felt. The fox chuckled. Ku. Naruto took a step back when suddenly claws attacked the bars. The massive claws stopped Naruto on his tracks as it tore his clothes, like knives tore through his skin. The Uzumaki felt great pain when he screamed. With eyes closed and fear overcoming, he roared. Your name is Kurama. The Kyuubi's eyes went wide in great surprise when suddenly light escaped the seal and a ball smacked the blonde Uzumaki on the head. Naruto fell on his butt. He groaned when he felt something on his lap. He looked and saw a beautiful glowing orb. Kyuubi chuckled. You are not stupid after all. It seemed that the brat too went into the process. What do you want and why am I here? Naruto asked suddenly. Huge back can be heard as fires came rushing towards him but enwrapped the bars of the seal. I am the Kyuubi and you are in the seal. The fox spoke now, its eyes analyzed the blonde like a specimen under the microscope. Seal? Naruto moved away from the fox fearing he would lash out on him. So the snake woman sent me here. Partially, the Kyuubi spoke, I sent you here. Naruto was surprised but his surprise came through a croaked voice. Why? It is not your concern, the fox said. Wah? What do you mean? Naruto got up now holding the orb in his hand. Why did you send me here? The orb glowed and the fox slanted its eyes a bit. The seal is complete. What? Naruto blinked. The seal? You mean the 8 trigrams seal? Yes, the seal is fully complete, the Kyuubi said. What is lost can soon be found. What is lost? Naruto said in thought. You mean you lost something? Kyuubi chuckled. Its damn chuckle always made him shiver. Indeed, it smirked. It not only applies to me. What do you mean? Naruto asked but the fox spoke. Now is not the time. Wake up. Eyes wide open, Naruto woke with a gasp. his head aching and his stomach sore. It felt as though he'd been run through with a katana to the heart. Getting up, he looked around to see Team 10, 7 and another team. "You're awake, Naruto," Choji spoke, getting his attention, as did everyone. "Naruto baka," Sakura yelled as he saw her with Ino. It seemed she was done getting her hair done. Naruto just ignored everything and held his face. What is this feeling? He thought. He felt more spiritually aware, like an empty void inside him was filled. What is lost can soon be found, what Kyuubi said rung through his mind. Mendoke's troublesome, that fight was a waste of time. Shikamaru groaned as he sat next to Choji, who opened a bag of chips and began to inhale them. "Don't be like that, Shikamaru. We won," Choji offered positively between bites. "Yeah, you're right, Choji. It's just too troublesome to think about," Shikamaru replied as he leaned back to look at the clouds. Neji still stood off to the side as he watched Tenten wake their teammate Lee up while keeping a discreet watch on Uchiha Sasuke as well. Sasuke sat under a nearby tree by himself, just reflecting on this latest development. "That power, I felt that nothing could beat me, it felt great," Sasuke thought as he remembered what happened not too long ago. However, he looked at Naruto, who also was in deep thought. "We got the scroll. Let's go," Sasuke said, now getting up. This alerted Sakura, who also got up. Naruto still sat down. He was still frozen in thought. There are still plenty of teams out there who could easily beat us separately, Ino pointed out as she looked at everyone else in the clearing. "Yosh, we can all make it through with the combined might of our youth," Lee all but shouted as he gave his nice guy pose before Tenten clocked him with a fist to the back of the head and pulled him down to sit and be quiet. "Need I to remind you we are enemies for the remainder of this part of the exam, so teaming up wouldn't be wise. Let's go, Lee." "Tenten," Neji ordered. Tenten nodded and got up. Lee did the same. They left now. "Troublesome, but we have both our scrolls." Shikamaru got up. "Let's go." Choji and Ino nodded. They too were leaving. "HRN," Sasuke grunted and walked off. "Naruto," he called out to his teammate. Naruto now got out of his thoughts. "We're going," Sasuke ordered as Sakura followed. Naruto just got up and went with them. The other team followed. "Chunin exam, Forest of Death Tower. I suggest we open the scrolls," Naruto said. After 3 hours of non-stop running, Team 7 had finally made it to the tower. They were now deciding what to do. "Idiot." Sakura punched Naruto over the head, a vein popping out on her brow. "Anko-san said not to open the scrolls. We'd get disqualified. She was talking about before we got to the tower," Naruto shouted back, rubbing his head. "Besides, we would probably still be looking for a second scroll if it wasn't for me. Remember the decoy scroll?" "I don't care," Sakura fumed, glaring at him. "I'm not about to let you and your stupidity get Sasuke-kun disqualified from the Chunin exams." "Stupidity? It's common sense," Naruto argued, blue eyes burning. "We're in the tower now. Where are the people like Anko-san, for example? The only explanation is that the scrolls have something to do with our qualification into the next part of the exams." Silence ensued as both Sasuke and Sakura were greatly surprised. That really made sense. "Baka," Sakura hissed. "Sense? When do you have common sense? I won't allow you to mess this up." "Then what do you propose?" he said seriously. "Come on, tell us." Sasuke looked at her and Sakura now was intimidated a bit as she was put into a spot. "Well, we just move forward," she sputtered, having no idea. "Where?" "We're in the tower," Naruto asked. "Where do we go?" He again put her on the spot. "We just move forward," Sakura snapped at him. "Geez." Naruto flung his hands up in exasperation, rolling his eyes. "For the smartest girl in the academy, you sure are pretty dumb." "What did you say?" Sakura's voice rose. "I dare you to say that to my face." "You heard," Naruto yelled back, looking at Sakura like she was the most stupidest woman in the world. "Baka. How dare you?" Sakura was about to hit Naruto again when Sasuke spoke. "Hey, guys," both of them froze as Sasuke looked at them with his serious face. I think we should open the scrolls. Naruto now sighed as Sakura squealed and droned about how right her Sasuke-kun was, and about how he always had the best ideas. Wasn't it his idea? Yeah, Naruto baka. A pink-haired girl yelled when everyone now threw insults at him. One word was the most consistent of them all. Sakura-chan. Naruto froze now as his hair covered his expression. Baka huh? He said to himself eerily. Sakura, why did I even like her anyway? Naruto began to recollect it made absolutely no sense whatsoever why he would like her. In fact, everything didn't make sense. Come on, baka. Sakura pulled him by the sleeve of his jacket, shoving the heaven scroll into his stomach forcefully. Help me open the scrolls. Grudgingly peeling open the scroll given to him, he stared at its contents. Several characters were written down, focused around single kanji in the center. The scrolls began to bring out smoke. Sakura let go of the scroll. Sakura quickly listened, oblivious of the way Naruto called her name. The scrolls were hurled at the floor as it rolled away from them. The smoke rose to cover the. As the smoke began to clear, a shape could be seen within the dispersing cloud. Team 7 tensed, but was surprised at who it was. Iruka-sensei. Sakura yelled. The person that came was the academy teacher, Yumino Iruka. He grinned at them, waving in a friendly gesture. Hey, guys. It's been a while, huh? Iruka. Sensei, Naruto said in a quiet voice. Memories flashed. Get out, Naruto. Iruka was scowling. You have been disrupting the class. But I didn't do anything. Young Naruto groaned. Get out. Iruka yelled. It's been a while, Naruto. Iruka smiled. His hand landed on his hair, softly began to ruffle it. Naruto shook when he suddenly and surprisingly slapped it away. This shocked everyone. Don't touch me. He hissed, eyes glowed dangerous, getting Iruka shocked. Baka. Sakura came and bonked his head. Don't do that to your sensei. Naruto had his head down, now nursing it. Why was this happening? Those memories, his actions, everything didn't make sense. That wasn't him out there. Who was he? What is lost can soon be found. Kyuubi, the fox must know something. Naruto. Sakura yelled, getting him out of his thoughts. Ah. He smiled, scratching the back of his head. Exactly the way he used to do. Sorry, Iruka-sensei. Iruka was in deep thought. He was confused. What he saw wasn't Naruto at all. Sensei, can you explain our next task? Sasuke spoke. Oh, right. Iruka rubbed the back of his neck. I am here to tell you all you have passed the second exam. Team 7 were surprised. Really? Sakura asked. Yes. Iruka smiled. Now is the third exam. You guys don't overdo it, okay? He looked at Naruto, especially you, Naruto. Don't worry about me. It's not your job, it's mine, he said, suddenly surprising the teacher. He grinned, rubbing his neck sheepishly. Yeah, I guess so, huh? He mind was on Naruto. Iruka was worried. Let's go, Sasuke said, walking off. Yeah, Sakura yelled, following. Naruto went after them when Iruka stopped him. Naruto, has anything happened in the forest? He asked, a bit worried. Naruto had his back turned and just got his hand out of his. I finally woke up. He walked off, ignoring a shocked Iruka. The Hokage looked over the assembled genin, resisting the overwhelming compulsion to smile when he saw Naruto among them. 21 had made it, the majority of them from his village. They were all rookies and another 3 were a team that was only about a year old. It did his heart good to see such strength and courage in one so young. In the front of the room stood a group consisting of Chunin, Jonin, and the Hokage. Protruding from the front wall was a pair of stone hands forming the seal for Ram. Anko smirked at them from where she stood. Congratulations on passing. Hokage-sama will now explain the third test, so listen carefully. Sarutobi looked at the candidates and was impressed of his ninjas. He coughed and then spoke. Well done everyone for passing this portion of the exams. Anko smiled and nodded. I will explain to you why you are here and what you shall be doing, but before I explain the third and final test for the day. Do you know the reason why the Chunin exams are held? The Genins looked confused as they listened anyway. Gaara just watched emotionlessly and Naruto watched with a serious expression. The Chunin exams are not here for a shinobi to go up just in rank. The truth is it's a replacement for war among allied countries. The Genins were surprised and confused even more now as Sarutobi spoke before they did. A village's strength is determined by the strength of its shinobi. Holding the Chunin exams and show the feudal lords what we can do and stand out from the rest is key. In other words, your strength that you will be displaying in the exams attracts more clients and is noticed by other villages. Sarutobi sighed as he looked at Gaara, Neji, Sasuke and finally Naruto who looked back at him. His eyes glowed feverishly, shocking the old man for a second. He was about to commence the third exam when Hayate interrupted as he coughed. Hokage-sama, may I? Sarutobi nodded. You may, after all you are in charge of the third test. He coughed for a while, getting the Genin's attention as they thought he was sick or something. My name is Gecko Hayate and I'm the proctor of the third exams. He coughed again and spoke. The third test is to cut down the number of candidates as there are a lot of people who passed. So we are going to do preliminary matches. This shocked everyone as they thought it was unfair. The feudal lords will be attending the final exams and we need the strongest ninjas available when they arrive. So this test will bring forth those who are the strongest between you all. Hayate answered their questions before they had to ask. Gaara was about to speak when Naruto spoke. So we fight. Temari and Kankuro looked at him in shock. He interrupted Gaara. The red-haired boy looked at the blonde but Naruto ignored it. Sakura and Sasuke looked at him as did everyone. The third-eyed Naruto who looked back. Hayate nodded. That's correct. So before I start, does anyone want to quit now? Silence ensued as suddenly someone raised his hands. Sakura and Sasuke were speaking silently, which was a conversation Sasuke won as Sakura had a downcast expression. Naruto noticed and listened quietly. I'm fine, Sakura. Sasuke said dangerously, I won't quit. But that mark, she was worried. Mark? Naruto thought, taking note. Worry about yourself for now, don't take it upon yourself. Sakura had no choice but to obey. Anyone want to quit? Hayate asked again. Sakura looked at Sasuke and softened. She relented. Sorry, I quit. Someone smiled. Kabuto-san. Sakura spoke in shock. Kabuto looked at Sakura and smiled. I got injured all over. So you see I'm not fit to fight. He smiled at them but looked at Naruto. Their eyes met and Naruto's eyes narrowed. Kabuto walked off. The Junins and the Hokage noticed at how Naruto looked and pondered what made him that way. Alright, the rules are this: as the referee you listen to me. If I say stop, you stop. If you don't do that, then you fail. Fights will be one-on-one and the winner fight will proceed to the final. Your opponents will be chosen at random and the match will end when an opponent dies, loses consciousness or gives up. If I see that a match is unable to continue, I will also end the match. Alright, now let's begin the first round. Everyone turned around to look at the screen as multiple names popped up before stopping at the first two names. Uchiha Sasuke vs Akato Yoroi. Naruto just looked while Sakura looked scared. Sasuke-kun. Kakashi watched his prized student as he knew what happened and what the boy was carrying on his neck. He was told along with the Junins that Orochimaru was in the exams and attacked Team 7. Everyone were now leaving when Kakashi touched his shoulder. Remember, Sasuke, don't use the Sharingan, he muttered. I know. Sasuke nodded. Once everyone went up the stairs to watch the fight, both opponents stood facing each other. Naruto went past the Sand team and noticed the red-head kid giving him the creepy eye, getting his attention. Their eyes met as they both went to separate platforms. Are both fighters ready? Hayate asked as he received a nod from both Yoroi and Sasuke. Hajime. As soon the fight begun, Yoroi started to go through several hand signs and his hands glowed blue. Sasuke flashed his Sharingan, but then suddenly he started to feel pain coursing through his neck, making him fall to the ground. Shit, it's the seal, Anko muttered as she wanted to stop the fight, but her leader disapproved. She touched her mark, remembering the event and how she met Orochimaru in the forest. Yes, Sasuke-kun, let it control you, Orochimaru thought with a happy expression while he was in his disguise. Once that happened, the fight became one-sided as Sasuke was getting beaten easily as those glowing hands of Yoroi kept draining his chakra. Yoroi had Sasuke's head on the floor and kept draining his chakra. Sakura was worried as she clenched her heart and looked away. Kakashi watched with full concentration as Sasuke got out of the man's hold and gained some space. He then dodged Yoroi's swings, and then at a fast speed Sasuke appeared under him and then did an upward kick on his chin, a technique that belonged to Lee. Lee's eyes went wide as he recognized the attack. Guy watched and was not pleased. Sasuke then jumped in the air with Yoroi. He then gave the man a feint and then a heel drop hard on his stomach. Together they landed on the ground. Lion combo. With this combo Yoroi fell unconscious. Winner Uchiha Sasuke, Hayate announced. The genins were amazed at his skill. Wow, Sasuke-kun is great, Ino commended happily while Sakura sighed in delight. Kakashi was impressed while Asuma nodded. He is the rookie of the year, Kurenai nodded. Kakashi nodded while Guy frowned, both thinking of different things. Lee looked sad as Guy reassured him, making him smile. Naruto just gave the spandex-wearing youth a look of sympathy. He must have copied it from Guy's student, he thought. So that's the Uchiha. Kankuro looked impressed as he stood from the other platform opposite from Naruto and Co. Gaara looked unimpressed while Temari agreed with Kankuro. The sound team just watched from afar. Once Yoroi was sent away from a stretcher, Sasuke looked to be in pain as he had difficulty getting up due to the seal on his neck. Orochimaru in his disguise had a gleeful look, but when he saw Kakashi shunshin down and then take the Uchiha away, he frowned. Everyone watched while Naruto looked at Sakura. What's with him? Sakura looked shaken as she ignored him. Nothing, just worry about your match. Whatever. Naruto frowned. So that's how it is. If they wanted to keep secrets from him, it showed him that they should not be trusted. Kakashi-sensei told me not to tell you anything, Naruto. Sakura frowned. Where are they going? Ino inquired while Shikamaru looked at them in deep thought. Alright, I shall now begin the second round. Hayate coughed again as the screen changed and then two names now appeared. In the basement within tower. While the match carried on, Sasuke sat on the floor in the middle of a circle made from seals and candles as Kakashi was behind him. The Uchiha felt sensations on his skin, particularly his neck, as Kakashi brushed drawings on his neck. Sasuke just grunted. Hold still and I'll tell you when I'm done. This will help you control yourself and resist the mark, Sasuke nodded. Now hold still and brace yourself. Kakashi the enacted his technique, evil sealing method. As soon as the words left Kakashi's lips, the flames of the candles in the room disappeared as Sasuke screamed in pain. The seals on the floor began to race up his body and form around the curse mark. The moment the seal was done etching itself to Sasuke's neck, he passed out. You became stronger, Kakashi-kun. Came a voice within the room which had Kakashi on high alert. Who's there? Kakashi ordered as he prepared to protect his prized student. It was Orochimaru who came out of the dark smirking evilly. Kakashi quickly got out a kunai and became ready. Orochimaru, what are you doing here? Kakashi warned as he gripped his right arm with his left and charged and created his Reikiri lightning blade. I'm merely checking on my subject. Orochimaru spoke as he then looked at Kakashi, who looked ready to fight, and chuckled. My, what determination. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. I won't let you anywhere near him, the Sannin chuckled. Don't worry. I won't get him yet, but I will warn you, if you stop me, your life is forfeit. He then walked back within the darkness and disappeared. Kakashi waited until he was sure that Orochimaru was gone before he slowly released his technique and put away his Sharingan. What was I doing when I thought I could fight a Sannin? Kakashi sighed as he picked up Sasuke and went to the hospital. Tenten vs Temari. Yosh go Tenten. Lee perked up as he cheered for his teammate as Guy joined in. Neji nodded as Tenten smirked and came down the stairs where Temari was waiting. The blonde flipped over the edge of the platform and jumped down. HMPH, the girl won't stand a chance, Kankuro smirked. So that's the Sand team, Kurenai said as Asuma nodded. Tenten, Naruto muttered watching the genin. Naruto baka, you are a loser. She smirked. You're not fit to be a ninja and never will be. His eyes narrowed. He looked at the sand ninja who was smirking. Naruto wished Tenten would get a beat down. That would be fun. So are you ready, little girl? Temari smirked while Tenten took out a kunai and twirled. You are going to pay for that comment. When the fight started, Naruto was right because it was the most one-sided fight he had ever seen since, well, ever. They found out that Temari was a wind user and used it to its utmost potential thanks to her fans, so this outdone Tenten's ability to hit her targets. So all of Tenten's attacks became immune as they were swept away thanks to Temari's Kamedachi no Jutsu, great cutting whirlwind technique. In the end, Tenten had cuts all over her body, and when she fell towards the ground thanks to one final attempt, she landed on Temari fan. Naruto watched Temari. He analyzed her moves. She was strong and he couldn't help but notice her legs. Temari just tossed Tenten like a rag doll. This didn't end well as Team Guy went to Tenten's aid. That was uncalled for, Lee screamed from the stands. Temari smirked. Are you really a kunoichi? Felt like fighting a child. Lee got angry and was about to jump at her, but Guy stopped him. Stop, Lee. This is an exam, it's the rules, you know that. Lee just gritted his teeth in anger. The third Hokage looked impressed. The shinobis from Sand are well trained. Anko and Ibiki nodded as they too was impressed. Temari looked at them, but her eyes met Naruto's. She smiled and he smiled back. Suddenly Kakashi appeared in the platform and greeted everyone. Kakashi-sensei, how is Sasuke-kun? Kakashi gave her an eye smile. Don't worry, Sakura, he will be fine. But, Kakashi then put his hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, it will be okay. Sakura had a downcast expression. Okay, sensei. Naruto watched with a stoic expression as Kakashi looked at him and smiled. Naruto just ignored him and looked ahead. Hayate coughed for a bit as he commenced the next round. Now let's begin the next round. The screen flashed as it landed on two people. Inuzuka Kiba vs Uzumaki Naruto. Ha! The dobi, we got lucky, Akamaru. Kiba gloated, jumping down into the arena. Akamaru, his dog, gave an enthusiastic bark of agreement. Naruto froze. I want to be Hokage. The greatest of them all, Naruto yelled standing in front of the class. Everyone soon laughed at him. Like you can be dobi, a boy with a dog in his head insulted. It was Kiba, you failed twice now. Naruto felt anger rise up when a voice entered his thoughts. Naruto, this is your dad. Listen to your motor mouth. Mother and become a great ninja. Naruto-kun. Hinata looked at him, his hair covered his expression. Naruto ignored her and went and walked down the stairs. Become a great ninja, he muttered to himself, but no one heard. Naruto now stood before Kiba as Hayate stood between them. Hey! Kiba clenched his fist. I feel bad for you, so I'll end this in one punch. Can you? Naruto muttered, can that actually be done? Yup. Kiba smirked smugly, against a dobi like you anything's possible. Dobi, huh? Naruto smirked. Up in the stands, Yuhi Kurenai, Kiba's teacher, smirked over at Hatake Kakashi. Looks like your student doesn't belong in this exam, Kakashi-san. Kiba will finish him. Ma. Kakashi scratched the back of his head. Let us see, shall we? Naruto is surprising after all. Hayate looked at Naruto and Kiba. Are you both ready? Naruto unzipped his orange jacket and took it off. He then threw it away to the side. This will be as fast just like Tenten's, he said seriously, getting a few attentions. Temari raised her eyebrow. That's unyouthful. Lee yelled when Naruto insulted his teammate. Lee, Guy said, looking at the fight. He was looking at Naruto's expression. There was something there, he could feel it. Kiba smirked. Make it hard for me, will you, dobi? Naruto didn't respond. Inuzuka Kiba, genin rank ninja and the heir of the Inuzuka clan. A clan that are known for their nin dogs, Naruto thought, his eyes narrowed. Begin. Hayate began. Let's go, Akamaru, and I am going to beat this dobi. Kiba smirked, looking at Kiba when a few gasped. He looked in front of him and his eyes went wide. Naruto was charging at him, shocking everyone. Meaning without their dogs, he came upon Kiba, his speed shocking everyone, and punched him hard in the stomach. They are nothing. He poured as much strength as he could on the blow. Kiba coughed and spat blood. He fell to his knees. Akamaru just froze. Kiba didn't order him to do anything and just watched. Let's go Akamaru, and I am going to beat this Dobi. If Kiba asked him to help beat Naruto, then he would have joined. Kiba was coughing. Why you little aka? Suddenly Naruto pulled his hoodie and covered his face. Hey! Kiba yelled, moved his hands only to feel both his arms being grabbed by Naruto. The Uzumaki twisted both his arms, making Kiba turn around so his back was turned before Naruto. The Uzumaki let go of his hands and grabbed his jacket, making sure Kiba didn't see. He then with his right hand gave the Inuzuka air repeatedly hard punches on his chest. Kiba screamed in pain. Naruto kept punching until the Inuzuka couldn't stand, so he started falling. Naruto then stopped and picked him back up by grabbing his right hand. He smirked. Now Kiba now wasn't tensed. He then suddenly using both his hands grabbed Kiba's left arm and then crack. Everyone heard bones break. Arg. Kiba screamed so loud a few winced, his arm looked to be snapped in half. Naruto then kicked Kiba's left leg, now bringing his hoodie-covered face to the Uzumaki. Naruto then uncovered him, taking his jacket off using his right hand. He punched Kiba in the cheekbone hard. It was so hard Kiba's whole body span around. The Uzumaki then threw the jacket away, and suddenly while Kiba span, his spine now was in serious pain. Naruto elbowed him hard with his right elbow. Arg. Kiba flew all the way to the wall. His face hit right on the wall hard. Like wet tissue, his face stuck to the wall as his body dragged to the floor. Kiba's jacket flew on Akamaru. Silence ensued. Everyone was just shocked to the core. Naruto walked and picked up Kiba's jacket. I don't like orange. See you Dobi, he just said. There was only silence when Zaku spoke. I never saw someone get their kick that fast. By his own Konoha ally, Zaku whistled, looking at Naruto now. Hey. At least put him into the safety position, he joked as Kiba looked like he died right there. Naruto just walked off. That was fast. Kankuro with a shocked expression. He beat your record, sis. I can see that. Temari watched Naruto leave with interest. Gaara did as well. Hayate was shocked when he got out of it. He then ended the match. Winner by knockout. He had to say that because Kiba was surely knocked out. Uzumaki Naruto. Medics now came as they peeled Kiba's face of the wall. Everyone saw blood on the wall as the Inuzuka was put on the stretcher. Kiba-kun. Hinata yelled as Kurenai jumped down the railings and went to her student. Naruto was just walking up the stairs. He joined a group looking at him. That was uncalled for, Naruto, Shikamaru said, frowning. You didn't need to do that. Everyone soon gathered around him. Shikamaru's right, there was no need for such brute force, Asuma said as he saw Kurenai coming back while Kiba was taken away. He wanted it quick. Naruto answered him. Who am I to deny that? Asuma's eyes narrowed. Where did you learn to fight like that, Naruto? Kakashi asked. He knew Naruto wasn't good at taijutsu. Not from you, that's for sure, he said, draping Kiba's jacket over his shoulder. Instinct, Guy said. That was all instinct. Instinct? Really find it hard to believe that. Ino said she was shaken at how Kiba was beaten. It was brutal. We all saw Ino, Naruto said, irritating her as he leaned on the railings. This girl was seriously stupid. Naruto answered Kakashi-sensei. Sakura said she was also disturbed and wanted to know where Naruto learned to fight. As I said, not from him. Naruto smiled at Sakura and Kakashi. Sakura frowned, as did her sensei. That's Kiba-kun's jacket, Hinata said when Kurenai came now. Her eyes landed on Naruto. Kiba has a broken arm. It was broken in 2 ways. He also has a broken nose and his spine was almost fractured, Kurenai told them the damage. The genins gasped. I don't know where you learned to do such behavior, Naruto, Kurenai's eyes narrowed. Enough, the Sandaime spoke, getting everyone to look at him. Kiba was defeated. This is an exam, he knew the rules. But, Kurenai tried to explain when Naruto spoke, look, he fought me and lost. It could have been easily me if I went easy on him. So I wonder would Kiba get any words from you all? Kurenai didn't respond nor did anybody else. I thought so. Naruto finished holding Kiba's jacket. The nerve of this brat. Kurenai's eyes narrowed. She saw Kiba's jacket. Give it to me. Naruto raised his eyebrow. You mean this thing? That's right. Kurenai held back a hiss. Naruto analyzed the jacket and read the label. It was a small-sized jacket. Not my size anyway. He then threw at Kurenai, who caught it. Naruto-kun, Kiba, Hinata spoke in her usual reserved soft voice. Naruto looked at her. Hey, you alright? Naruto smiled cheekily at a little blue-haired girl who wore a blue kimono. The girl suddenly ran off to her bodyguards who came. Lady Hinata, did he hurt you? One of them said. Hinata just hugged one of them, burying her face into their leg. The Hyuga bodyguards assumed the worse. Why, you no good brat. They charged at Naruto, who tried to explain. Look, I didn't mean it. The bodyguard didn't listen when Naruto ran. Hyuga Hinata. This girl stalked him wherever he went ever since that day. She fainted when he got close. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly. She saw his troubles and didn't do anything. Naruto didn't even know her, so dismissing her was easy. The screen now was changing as everyone looked at it. Worry about your match, he just said, surprising a few people. Hinata flinched at his tone and looked down. Kurenai's eyes narrowed at him. Nara Shikamaru vs. Kin Tsuchi. Hayate called out their names when Shikamaru sighed, a girl. Mendokusai. Their match didn't last very long either. Kin had Shikamaru caught in her trap for a few moments, but Shikamaru had planned and outdone her. Using his Kajimane no Jutsu, he forced her to hit her head against the wall. She knocked herself unconscious and Shikamaru was declared the winner. After Kin was carried away on a stretcher, the screen flashed again, revealing the combatants of the next fight. Sabaku no Kankuro vs Tsurugi Masumi. When this match started, it went by quickly. It seemed everyone wanted to beat Naruto's record, as Kankuro's opponent Masumi was able to stretch his limbs wrapped around Temari's brothers and threatened to crush him if he did not yield. When Kankuro didn't relent, Masumi crushed his neck only to find out that Kankuro really was puppet, surprising Naruto and everyone on his platform. After that, Kankuro came out of the bandages, showing that he had hidden himself inside and had been using chakra strings to control Karasu's movement. Then several spikes had stuck out of Karasu's body and impaled Masumi, who was died immediately. It was now Shino vs Zaku. I will make this quick, Zaku commented as he jumped down to get the battle underway. Good luck, Shino-kun. Hinata smiled at boy who nodded. Good luck, Shino, win this. Kurenai smiled at her student, who frankly was the strongest in her team. When the battle started, Shino looked at Zaku and spoke, you cannot use your arms. I suggest you forfeit. Zaku smirked. Your teammate was that bitch that got a major beatdown, right? Then my answer is, he then raised his only working hand, hell no bitch. Zankaha. Decapitating airwaves, he then shot an airwave by which Shino dissolved into bugs when it hit him, shocking the man. Zaku kept doing that until in the end Shino managed to have bugs inside his air hole, disabling the technique. Shino then warned him not use his technique, but the sound ninja didn't listen, and in the end his arms became useless, making him fall unconscious. The group were amazed. Wow, Shino is strong. Ino was astounded while Choji nodded as he greeted Shino, who came up the stairs to meet them. Well done, Shino. Kurenai praised her student, who nodded at her while Hinata praised as well. Yeah, well done, Shino. Naruto added praise. The rookies soon praised the Aburame as well. Kurenai looked at him and he raised his eyebrow at that. Naruto, we will talk later, Kakashi said, touching his shoulder. Why? Naruto asked, looking at him. No reason, Kakashi smiled. Oh, but I thought you wanted to see me. If it's no reason, then we won't talk later then. Naruto's answer surprised everyone now. That was a smart comeback that they thought he wasn't capable of. Kakashi was just surprised he had no choice but to ask now. I just want to know what you learned. Academy, training, etc. Naruto raised his eyebrow. I learned what you taught us. I haven't taught you to fight like that, Kakashi pointed out. Naruto smiled. Exactly, you haven't taught us anything. Surprising everyone again, Naruto shrugged off Kakashi's hand that was on his shoulder. Kakashi had no reply. He was put into a situation that if he pushed for more information he would be seen neglecting his students. We will talk later, Naruto, Kakashi just said. Just make sure it's for a reason this time, Naruto added, finishing the conversation. Shikamaru was surprised. Naruto just out-talked his teacher. Naruto baka, how dare you say that about Kakashi-sensei? Sakura was about to put Naruto in his place when the Uzumaki pointed at the screen. Names have come up and it was Haruno Sakura vs Yamanaka Ino. Sakura sweated a bit when Naruto touched her shoulder. She looked to see him smiling at her. Don't worry, Sakura. Show Ino what Kakashi-sensei taught you. He did teach Sasuke after all. Sakura flinched. Naruto looked at Kakashi and smiled. Right, sensei. The Junins now knew Kakashi didn't teach them shit. Kakashi closed his book, now carrying a serious expression. He went to Sakura and touched her shoulder. Good luck, Sakura. Kakashi gave an eye smile. Sakura nodded. Good luck, Ino. Asuma said. His team nodded at her. Win this, Ino. Choji smiled. Shikamaru just nodded. Ino nodded back. Kakashi and Naruto were looking at each other. The blonde was smiling while the Junin had a serious expression. Sensei, let's watch, Naruto said. Sasuke has become much stronger with your teaching. Ino won't win then. I get it, Naruto, Kakashi said, ending the matter. Then you know we can't talk later as I will have some serious training to do, he responded. Kakashi was silent as a crypt. Guy was disappointed. Asuma shook his head and Kurenai looked at Naruto. He was different than she was told. The fight between the two girls started. Naruto was indeed right. Witnessing Sakura face off against her rival Ino was the most pathetic thing everyone has ever seen. Words and weak attacks were exchanged between the girls as they battled with academy-style Bunshin clone until Ino managed to catch Sakura with her clan's jutsu Shintenshin no Jutsu mind transfer technique. Ino was going to force Sakura to say that she forfeited. Damn, this is pathetic, Kankuro said as Tamari nodded. Gaara just watched. Aren't you going to cheer her on? Kakashi smiled. Naruto gave no reply but just watched. She never cheered for him, in fact was against him. Silence was golden and Naruto will be silent. Kakashi frowned under his mask. He spoke now. She was trained by the great copy ninja. Sakura needs no luck. Kakashi's eyes narrowed now. Kakashi, what you done was most unyouthful, Guy said, frowning. It's not something you'll do. Kakashi felt eyes on him and didn't respond. Everyone just carried on watching. Well, he did now, Naruto added, sensing Kakashi's discomfort. God, he loved the feeling. The Uzumaki remembered everything and he knew Kakashi was training Sasuke alone. His stupid self was truly stupid, but not anymore. The fight carried on as Sakura somehow kicked Ino's spirit out of her body and they resumed their fight, which ended in a double knockout from the equal haymakers the girls gave each other. When it was all said and done and both girls came to a bit later, they made up and their friendship was mended somewhat. Ah, they're friends again, Dosu said in a sarcastic and mocking chuckle while Tamari smirked. The rookies minus Naruto were all frowning at the other end of the platform. A draw? Well, look at that, she did need luck, Naruto said. Well done, Kakashi. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. He will speak with his student for this defiance. That he can promise. Hyuga Neji vs Hyuga Hinata now has come up. This was the shocking one for Team 8. This was interesting. Naruto looked at Hyuga Neji walking past him. He remembered this bastard all right. Why try Dobi? Fate has decreed you will never be a ninja. His eyes narrowed. Damn it, these memories were pissing him off. What the hell was he doing back then? HMPH, you should give up, Lady Hinata, it is your fate to do so. Neji arrogantly smirked as he looked at her and walked down the stairs. Hinata looked sad as Kurenai put her hand on her shoulder. Hinata, don't let him get to you, do your best. Okay, thank you. She then went to begin her fight against Neji. She looked at Naruto, who turned away from her. She was determined not to let him down. I won't let you down, Naruto-kun. To everyone, especially to Kurenai, this match was the most impressive fight she has seen as her student and who she saw as a cis fight like a true shinobi fighting Neji equally. She looked at Naruto, it was all thanks to him. Remembering what he did to Kiba, she frowned. However, Hinata fought with grace and elegance expected from a clan heir. She had to give credit where it was due. Alas, that wasn't enough, as Neji in the end simply overpowered her with the Juken and expected her to fall, but she didn't give up and kept striking. It was a dance of two strong Hyugas to everyone, but in the end Hinata lost. She tried to get up and coughed blood, shocking Kurenai and everyone. Why do you continue to struggle against fate? Neji stated. Naruto's eyes narrowed at what he said. Unlike you, I won't let my fate hinder me. I will move forward, Hinata spoke weakly. Neji couldn't believe it, this weakling dared to say he was struggling against fate. He was the rookie of the year, how dare you? In anger, Neji rushed at her, aiming to kill her by striking her in the heart. Hinata smiled sadly and closed her eyes, but the blow didn't come because when she opened her eyes, Kurenai was there holding his hand. Neji was being surrounded by the male Junins. Hinata, well done. Kurenai spoke, making her smile a bloody smile. Thank you, sensei. She then fell unconscious. The Junins let go of Neji once Hayate took over. Kurenai set the girl down. She is critically injured. Medics ran to her and done an inspection. We must take her to the hospital quick, she needs treatment right away. A medic spoke in shock to his partner, who nodded and put her on a stretcher. Kurenai nodded. I will go with you. The medics nodded when she left with the medic. Failure. Neji scowled, walking off. Naruto's eyes never left Neji's, not one bit. The Junins all went back to their platform. Alright, the final round shall now begin, Hayate said when two names now came. Two names came up and it was Sabaku no Gaara vs Rock Lee. Yosh. It's my turn. Lee exclaimed, proud, making his teacher scream in glee. Go, my student. Guy gave a thumbs up and Lee jumped down to fight Gaara, who was waiting patiently. When the two Genins started the battle, it was the most amazing fight one has ever seen from Genins. Gaara's sand defense was a shock to everyone except his siblings, but Lee's speed once he took out his weights was unbelievable. He amazed even Gaara and even landed a hit on him, shocking his siblings. However, that was not enough yet, but then Guy with permission allowed Lee to do his trump card. The 8 gates. When Lee released all 5 gates, he amazed the whole crowd. Naruto started to shake as he had a look of utter inspiration. Amazing, such a thing can exist, he thought. Odd. There was so many amazing things. Naruto realized that if he faced Gaara, he would not stand a chance. Damn it, what was I doing all this time? He was truly foolish, playing pranks, running after a pink-haired girl and eating ramen all day. While he liked ramen, he would waste his whole day on it. Lee exploded on Gaara as the area became a battlefield, shocking everyone, even the Junins and the Hokage. However, soon Lee's body gave in as Gaara had a second defense, and that helped him withstand the spandex taijutsu user's attacks. When Lee fell due to the in-pain, Gaara used this opportunity to crush his feet and arm as he tried to run away but didn't make it. Gaara was about to finish him off, but Guy stopped him, saying he will protect Lee with his life, shocking him greatly as Gaara remembered his uncle. Guy left with Lee to the hospital. Man, that was amazing. Naruto looked at Neji. You have an amazing teacher. Want to swap? No. Neji just replied, looking stoic. Why not? Naruto pointed at Kakashi. He's the copy ninja. He will not benefit me, Neji just said. He didn't want to speak with this doby. Oh my god, Kakashi. Naruto looked shocked at his sensei. He just called you useless. That's violation of conduct right there. What is it called? Something subordinate. He looked at Shikamaru now, who answered him, insubordination. That's the one. Naruto said, smiling at Kakashi. Forget about what he said, Kakashi. You're not useless because you'll help me in my training, right? Silence ensued. Naruto smirked now. He wanted to see this fool's response. Ma. Kakashi gave an eye smile. Later, okay. Naruto groaned. He tried to act like his stupid self, but, sensei, that's what you always say. Sakura and Sasuke got stronger, why not me? Sakura now heard the non-added suffix to her name and looked at him. Kakashi's single eye went wide a bit. You humans are funny. Kyuubi chuckled. He watched everything and was amused. Naruto froze. The fox chuckle brought that fear again and just froze. You know what, forget it. I'm used to your excuses. Naruto dismissed Kakashi. You don't benefit me. Naruto. Sakura yelled when she froze. Naruto now looked at her. His expression was dark. Not now, he just said, and Sakura just shut her mouth. I will need to speak with the Hokage about this, Kakashi said when Asuma touched his shoulder. What you did, Kakashi, will need to be told. The boy will tell. I know, Kakashi just said, looking at Naruto. The last match was Akimichi Choji vs. Dosu Kinyuda. Choji lost pretty quickly. He simply couldn't win against Dosu's sound techniques. Even with his Baika no Jutsu and his Meat Tank, he wasn't able to win against the Oto Nin. You will tell me everything, Naruto whispered to himself. The fox heard but didn't reply. The preliminaries were soon over and the winners stood in a line getting congratulated by the Hokage and briefing them on what's to come. Okay, now you will get a tab telling you who you will face in the final exams. Hiruzen gestured Anko to get the box of tabs and give them to everyone to pick. Alright, everyone pick a number. Anko went to everyone who put their hands inside the box and pulled out a tab. Anko winked at Naruto when he got his. The Uzumaki raised his eyebrow at the eccentric woman. What are your numbers? Sarutobi spoke. The Genins answered. 3. Gaara drones. 5. Kankuro says. 7. Tamari calls out. 1. Naruto says. 9. Shikamaru responds. 6. Shino responds. 2. Neji spoke softly. 8. Dosu said. 4 inches. Kakashi responds in Sasuke's place. Okay, the matchups for the finals are the following. First match Uzumaki Naruto vs Hyuga Neji. Second match Uchiha Sasuke vs Subaku no Gaara. Third match Subaku no Kankuro vs Aburame Shin. Fourth match Subaku no Tamari vs Dosu Kinyuda. Finally Nara Shikamaru faces the fourth match victor. Hayate calls out the formation. That concludes the second phase of the Chunin exams. You each have a month before the finals to prepare yourselves and get stronger. Any questions? The Sandiame asks. Does the winner automatically get promoted? Shikamaru lazily points out. Not necessarily. The winner of the finals may not be promoted at all. Likewise, the losers might get promoted or no one at all. If you show you have both the ability and mentality to be a Chunin, then you will be recommended for a promotion. From there it will be up to your cages or council to decide, the Hokage informs them. This satisfied most of them, so when he asked for any more questions no one raised their hand. You all may leave and rest and good luck. The third Hokage waved his hand to conclude the Chunin exams as the Genin saluted and all left. Sarutobi looked at Naruto and he knew he had to speak with him in the month interval. Kakashi wanted to speak with his student right away. I will get stronger. Naruto looked determined as he now had some serious training to do. Considering he was weak as hell. He was facing Hyuga Neji. Naruto smirked. This will be interesting. But first he needed answers. He will speak with that damn fox. Konoha Hospital. Kurenai watched her student lay unconscious in her bed with a sad look on her beautiful face. I'm just glad the doctors managed to get you in time, the red-eyed Junin caressed Hinata and tucked in her hair. She just left her other student who also was unconscious, his mom and sister, were checking up on him every now and then. They were truly surprised at what happened. Kurenai couldn't blame them, if she was told her son got beaten so easily and ruthlessly by the dropout. She would be very surprised as well. While she was in deep thought, a nurse came in the room and stood behind her. Excuse me, Miss Yuhi, but I need to do a checkup on Lady Hyuga. Kurenai nodded. Okay, I come later. The nurse didn't mind her staying, but Kurenai looked exhausted. Kurenai looked at her surrogate little sister with sympathy and then left, intending to come later. Leaving, she saw Kakashi, who left Sasuke's room. How is he? She asked. Kakashi looked at her, nodding. He's fine, we'll be up and ready by tomorrow. Don't you mean you'll get him out and so he can have training? Kurenai correcting. I know what I'm doing, Kurenai. Kakashi didn't want to explain things, besides concentrate on your team. My team? Kurenai's eyes narrowed. One of them went to battle ill-informed. He faced an opponent who played his cards right and dismantled him. Kurenai went to him now looking straight into Kakashi. She carried on, and to make things more interesting, his teacher didn't even know of his own development. Hitaki Kakashi, compared to you, I may have not been a Junin for long, but I know all my students' strengths and weaknesses and build to improve as a team. She hissed the last part. You have a student who is 16 years old, I might add, and didn't bother to his strength level. I did, and it wasn't that good, Kakashi answered her, not relenting. Kurenai chuckled. Look underneath the underneath. Isn't that a phrase you love to spout? She then scowled at him. This man was stupid. Kurenai tried to control her anger but couldn't. We are ninja, you fool. Deception is key. Kakashi now was surprised she sensed it. She truly wondered what was wrong with him. It seemed that people like Kakashi, who is known in battle, are truly not good enough in teaching. A 16-year-old, 3-time dropout. Uzumaki Naruto is either truly stupid or he is a genius. Kurenai sized the man up, because he managed to fool even the copy ninja. Now excuse me, I have a student to train for the exam. Good luck training your protege Kakashi. I hope he doesn't fail you, because it seems you put all your eggs in one basket. Kurenai left a frozen Kakashi. She intended to get Shino ready. Kakashi now had to do something. He intended to speak with Naruto and bring in a teacher for him. Now with what Kurenai said made him change his mind. Now with a serious expression Kakashi left. He intended to see the Hokage. Naruto's apartment. Uzumaki Naruto was not pleased when he went home last night. He was met with a messy apartment. Damn it! Naruto yelled as he was in his apartment. It was a mess as he was in the process of cleaning up. There's ramen everywhere. He looked, raiding his fridge. The milk is out of date, and their food for dinner. Damn it! I lived like a barbarian. Closing the fridge, he got up. Going to his kitchen table, he picked up his pencil and wrote on a piece of paper, okay, food is must. He looked at his checklist. Food, a must-have. Clean the house, done. Speak to neighbors who were very nice people, done. Clothes. Clothes, Naruto groaned, that is a must-have, he said to himself, writing it down. At least I'm fit for training, Naruto spoke, stamina's great, physique and strength is good. That's because of my chakra boy, Kyuubi suddenly spoke. Kyuubi? Naruto spoke, a bit surprised, you now speak out of all times. It matters not, and don't speak so loud, Kyuubi dismissed. Naruto nodded, he will speak with his mind. You were malnourished when you were younger, but as you aged, eating those packaged stuff. You used your chakra to make my body healthier and strong. Naruto sighed, so eating foods like vegetables or drinking milk. My chakra increases your body rate, Kyuubi said, you at least lived a normal life. Minus the ridicule, the glares, the hindrance, Naruto scowled, and you know what's funny? I was too stupid and ignorant to notice that I was being held back, he growled, give me answers, Kyuubi, because I've had it with being ignorant. Interesting, Kyuubi thought. The brat wasn't a brat after all. You already know the answer, Kyuubi said. If you mean the voices, then you're speaking to the wrong person. I don't even have a clue, Kuruma. Don't call me by that name, brat. Kyuubi growled, leaking killer intent. Naruto froze but then shook it off. Alright, Kyuubi. Kyuubi was displeased but nevertheless was glad the boy didn't know the meaning of knowing its name meant. For now the fox will answer his questions. I was sealed in you in order for your puny body to handle. My chakra was split into two, Kyuubi explained. So by being complete you mean your other half has returned? Naruto asked. Correct. Kyuubi commended the boy was smart. The fox was a bit glad he had a smart container. It would do no good if his container was still retarded. What did your predicament got to do with me? Naruto asked again. For a brief second he thought he heard the fox chuckle. Because as I already told, I wasn't affected. Kyuubi spoke, because half of me was sealed into you. It caused a chain reaction, thus only half of me was sealed. Naruto finished, so this feeling I keep having. Is your spirit getting accustomed to itself, the world and life around you? Kyuubi finished. Now before I leave and you never disturb me again. I want to know what you intend to do. I plan to train for this month. How? Kyuubi asked. It sounded more like a demand. That's my main aim. Finding how I will train will be up to me. Naruto sighed. Considering who he is, it will be difficult. Heck, his instructor didn't want to teach him, and that says a lot. What about the voices? Kyuubi asked. I will concentrate on that later, Naruto answered. For now I will deal with what's in front of me, and that's training and beating Neji. Kyuubi smirked. It seemed his container was a type he could tolerate. I don't not need a weak container now. Train and be gone. Kyuubi dismissed Naruto, who sighed. He knew the fox would not speak even if he tried to kill himself. Damn annoying fox. It's sunny outside. Naruto looked at his window, so black t-shirt and orange trousers is fine. He looked at his attire. Inside his closest was full of orange clothes and only his pajamas. Suddenly Naruto looked to his door when someone knocked. Someone's here. He went to his door and opened it only to see an Anbu. Yes, he said, a bit wary. Hokage-sama wants to see you, the Anbu said. Alright, I will see him when I'm done, the Anbu persisted. I was ordered to take you. No. I see. Naruto nodded, putting on his sandals. Once he went outside, the Anbu took him using Shunshin Hokage's office. The Hokage Sarutobi knew what happened in the preliminary stages. He heard what's happened with young Inuzuka Kiba and saw Naruto's skills. He was amazed and proud the boy trained to fight so well. But he also knew what it will cause. What the Hokage didn't predict was what stood before him. Are you sure you want to do this? The third Hokage had a serious expression. Hitaki Kakashi stood before him. Yes, Hokage-sama. You do know that if you'll wrong, the consequences it will bring. I will have to follow the laws of our village. Hiruzen's eyes narrowed. Yes, Kakashi was truly serious. All right, Hiruzen said, now taking his pipe out of his mouth. Ninja registration. 009720, Kakashi answered his leader. Name. Hiruzen carried on. Hitaki Kakashi. Rank. Junin. Hiruzen nodded. Registration on the subject at hand. 012607, Kakashi nodded with a grave expression. Name. Hiruzen eyed the man critically. Uzumaki Naruto. Rank. Genin. Kakashi said. The third leaned back on his chair. He pressed for his secretary. Send an Anbu to get Uzumaki Naruto. Yes, sir. The secretary obeyed. Turning off the call, the third looked at Kakashi. Once this is over, Kakashi Naruto will be told of his options. I know of the law, Hokage-sama. He has a tough opponent, Kakashi answered his teacher. And look what has happened to young Kiba. Kakashi flinched a bit at his leader's stern gaze. You better hope Naruto-kun doesn't make any surprises and becomes Chunin Kakashi. The third warned. Kakashi heeded the warning. Hokage-sama, I have a trainer for Naruto. You are the Junin teacher. The third wasn't amused. I will notify Naruto myself. Kakashi nodded. Hokage-sama, the Naruto is here to see you, the secretary spoke. The third got up. Let's see how this turns out, shall we? Kakashi nodded. They left as Naruto was outside waiting. Outside the Hokage's office. Naruto was outside the office with the Anbu. He looked at the ninja who had purple hair. Do you know why I am here? He asked. No, I do not. The Anbu responded. It was a female voice. Okay. Naruto nodded when the third came out, now with Kakashi, which got his attention. Yugao, you may leave. The third dismissed his Anbu, who bowed, hi, and disappeared. Now Naruto-kun, can you follow me? The Hokage smiled. Naruto nodded as they walked. Kakashi was behind the two. What is this about, Hokage-sama? The third raised his eyebrow and Naruto smiled. What? You're the leader, I can't disrespect you. The old man smiled softly at that. It is about your development, he answered. We're going to ask you a few questions. Naruto was surprised. But why? I haven't done anything wrong. I know. The third nodded. Then everything will be fine. Naruto looked at Kakashi, who looked back at him. The Uzumaki knew he was involved and told the old man some shit. He had nothing to hide anyway, and that was the truth. The three walked inside a room where a black-haired man sat on a table. The man had 2 scars on the right side of his face, which are probably his most noticeable features. His hair was tied up into a spiky ponytail. The man also had dark eyes as well as a goatee. His ears were also. The man wore a meshed shirt underneath his flak jacket, a deerskin coat over that, and hand guards. Closing the door, the third spoke. "Have a seat, Naruto-kun." Naruto nodded while Kakashi and Sarutobi stood at both his sides. The third nodded at the black-haired man, who nodded back. He looked at Naruto, smiled. "Hello Naruto, my name is Nara Shikaku. You're Shikamaru's dad." Shikaku nodded. "Yes, you know my son well then." "Quite," Naruto answered, making Shikamaru's dad nod. "Okay Naruto, you don't want to be here long since you want to train for the finals. I will go straight to the point." Naruto nodded, seeing the man now serious. He did the same. Shikaku looked at his leader, then at Kakashi. "I will ask you 3 questions. I want a yes or no answer in all 3. Then I want you to give me an explanation." Naruto nodded as the man put his pen on his paper. "Okay, question 1. Did you or did you not hide your skill level from your team and instructor?" "I did not," Naruto quickly answered. Shikaku nodded and wrote on the paper. "Question 2. Are you hiding any more skills, techniques or training you have learned?" he asked. "No," Naruto answered it swiftly. The way he was answering without hesitation got the Hokage's attention. He briefly looked at Kakashi, who stood tall. "Final question." Shikaku looked Naruto in the eye. "Do you plan to disobey or disrespect your teacher?" "No." Naruto didn't look away, not once. "I only say the truth." Shikaku analyzed Naruto, delving into his eyes, and then wrote on the paper. Minutes felt like hours until he finished. "Okay Naruto-kun, I would like to hear what you have to say," Shikaku said. "Say what you feel." Naruto looked at the man. "Stick to your statement." Kyuubi spoke out of nowhere. One of its eyes was open while the fox slept. Naruto planned to do just that. "I never hid anything from anyone. The fight against Kiba was purely instinct. As you both have seen Hokage-sama, Kakashi-sensei, he felt sick of saying that but didn't show it. I rushed at Kiba in a form of a last-ditch attempt. If it didn't work, then you would have been defeated," the third said, nodding. "I have seen." And to add, Naruto looked at Shikaku. "Going back to question 1. Could you ask Kakashi-sensei that question about Uchiha Sasuke's capabilities?" Silence ensued as everyone's eyes were on the Junin. Kakashi's expression was grave, but he was silent. "We understand Naruto-kun," the Hokage smiled. "You have answered your questions. Meet me in my office." Naruto wanted to stay, but he had to obey his leader. Getting up, he nodded at the old man and left. Once the coast was clear, the third looked at Kakashi. Shikaku knew his leader was not pleased. Ibiki, Inoichi, suddenly both men appeared. Shikaku nodded. The verdict, he looked at Ibiki and Inoichi, who nodded. "Hokage-sama. This was a simulation that I myself created. It was a success for so many years." The third nodded while Kakashi listened with anticipation. "Never did I see someone." Shikaku's expression was grave now as he gave his verdict. "Pass." Uzumaki Naruto was telling the truth. There was no hint of a lie, not once. Kakashi's eye went wide. He felt stomach churn. The third's hat covered his face. "Thank you. I wish to speak with Kakashi alone." The integration squad nodded. "Hi Hokage-sama." They left when everything was just silent. "Hokage-sama, Kakashi tried to explain. "I want the compensations," he said. His tone was stern. Kakashi knew he was angry. Hi, Kakashi nodded. "I will go get it as soon as possible." "No Kakashi, I want something else," the third said with a dangerous expression. "A fine is not needed." "What is it that you may need, Hokage-sama?" The third eyed him as Kakashi sweated. "I am displeased, especially what Naruto-kun was saying. However," he said when he smiled a bit, "let's prove him wrong, shall we?" Kakashi just sweated. He was unnerved of the smile his leader was sprouting. Outside the Hokage's office, Uzumaki Naruto sat in front of the door to the Hokage's office for approximately 2 hours. It didn't matter to the blonde as he sat frozen in his chair. Someone walked to him, stopping in front of the boy who had his head down. Naruto saw a shadow loom over him and looked up. He saw the Hokage smiling down at him. Come inside, Naruto-kun. Naruto just looked as they soon entered. The old Hokage situated himself behind his table and sat on his chair. Have a seat, Naruto-kun, he said to the boy standing before him. I have been sitting all day, he said softly. The third knew he was angry. Old man, Naruto spoke after a moment of silence. He had his head down away from his leader's gaze. Yes, my boy, Naruto clenched his fist. Why is this keep happening to me? The third only had a soft expression. I just tried my best. Worked really hard. Naruto shook. The third knew it was hurting him. He too was hurting after all. Instead of being appreciated, I get this. Naruto gritted his teeth as tears started to appear, but he refused to let it out and show it to the old man. Naruto-kun, the third was greatly saddened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Naruto repeated. Why do people hate me, old man? Why? Young Naruto cried. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, it will be better. The third hugged the child who cried in his arms. That's what you always say to me. Naruto roared suddenly. He was huffing now. Just stop saying that. His voice was breaking. All right, the third could only say. But I have something to tell you, he spoke again. Naruto gave no response. He couldn't be bothered anymore. Can I just go? I have to train, he just said. To be a chunin correct, Hiruzen put his hat on the table. Isn't that obvious? Naruto responded. He just wanted to leave. Naruto, my boy, what did I tell you when you always were in trouble? The old man asked, leaning forward. That actions have consequences, Naruto answered. Yes, actions have consequences, he smiled. So was there any consequences today? Yeah, I was interrogated for no reason. The third for a brief second was greatly hurt. You could see it in his eyes. No, you wish to be Hokage, right? Hiruzen asked. Isn't it obvious? Have been screaming that for years, the old man chuckled. Yes, well, to be Hokage you must know all the laws, Naruto just nodded. So today one law came into effect. Do you know what it's called? Naruto shook his head at the old man. Anti-Discrimination Act, the third said. Look it up when you have the time. To be exact, it is a law that comes into effect when a genin is being unlawfully treated by his instructor. It works when an instructor tries to get his or her student tried for insubordination and fails. Naruto's eyes went wide as he felt great dread. He gritted his teeth and now felt great rage. Are you saying that bastard tried to kick me out of the program? Naruto hissed. I'm afraid so. If he won, the third was saddened. Truly Kakashi was a fool. Naruto was close to losing his breathing. His was so angry. This bastard to kick him out. Seeing that Naruto was close to exploding, the third repeated, if he won, Naruto-kun. Naruto caught what he said. What do you mean? The Hokage nodded. You were telling the truth. I know, why would I lie? The third sighed. Anyone would lie, but since Naruto was found innocent, he didn't lie. So now that you won, you have to be compensated, Hiruzen explained. I don't need money, old man, especially from him. Naruto hissed. He remembered the voices. Even if he didn't, he want as hell take the bastard's money. Naruto, let me explain. Please. Naruto nodded and sat down. Hiruzen smiled now. Yes, but the law Kakashi enacted means that when you are chunin you are entitled to leave Team 7 forever. Leave Team 7 inches. Naruto's eyes went wide. Can that be possible? You want to leave your team? The old man asked. Old man, I never learned anything. Nothing at all. Expect chakra control, Naruto said. I see. The third sighed. This was troublesome and didn't help Kakashi or his case at all. Yes, you can leave. And also, the third now looked at Naruto, your fight against Kiba, I must say that was amazing. Really? Naruto blushed a bit at the praise. Well, what can I say? I want to become Hokage after all. Hokage? The third smiled. Naruto nodded. It's the strongest of the village, right? When I become Hokage, that will show everyone who held me back and hurt me that all their stupid plans were futile and I rose to the occasion, Naruto said, his eyes glowed with determination. Sarutobi Hiruzen was surprised, he was enveloped by Naruto's determination. The will of fire grows bright in you, Naruto-kun, he thought. He then smiled. Well then, the Hokage went into his robes. He brought out 5 medium-sized scrolls and 1 small bag on the table. You will need this, he smiled. The 5 scrolls contain 3 ninjutsu of all the respective elements. Ninjutsu, Naruto muttered. My Naruto, don't be a fussy eater, eat a lot and grow up to be a big boy. Go to bed early and sleep well, take your bath every day. The voice coughed. She sounded to be in pain. Make friends, it doesn't matter how many. Just make sure they're real friends, people you can trust, even a few is enough. And study your ninjutsu, I was never good at it, maybe you will be. Naruto nodded furiously. It was like he was agreeing with someone in the Hokage's perspective. Yes, now before that I want you to first channel chakra into this. Sarutobi went inside the tiny bag and brought out a paper. He gave it to Naruto. Naruto nodded and began channeling his chakra into the paper. He watched as the paper glowed blue for a brief second before splitting down the middle, while the 2 halves, one became soaking wet, the other wrinkled to bits. Sarutobi went wide-eyed at seeing Naruto have 3 affinities. Amazing, the third whispered. He was attuned to 3 elements. He smiled softly. It seemed fate smiled at the boy. Well, it seems you have 3 elemental affinities, Naruto-kun. That's very impressive for someone at your age. You seem to have high affinities in wind, water and lightning. He said, taking 3 scrolls out of the 5. Now these 3 scrolls here have 3 jutsu for each elements. He put them out for him to take. 3 elements, jutsu. Naruto was greatly surprised. Take it, my boy, the third smiled. Thank you. Naruto bowed a bit. It's what you deserve, Naruto-kun. Train and get stronger. The old man smiled as Naruto put them in his pouch. I will, I promise. Old man, I won't let you down, Naruto promised. I know you will. The third smiled. That boy never did. Naruto got up. Thanks again. He bowed a bit and was about to leave when the Hokage spoke. Wait 1 second, Naruto-kun. The Hokage stopped him and went to him. Sarutobi got up and exited the office for a couple moments before returning with the 2 scrolls. Standing before the blonde, he gave it to him. Here, take this scroll, it's 2 more jutsus that I'm sure you'll like very much, he smiled. Old man. Naruto was touched. The third touched his shoulder. This is from me, consider it a present for hurting you. Naruto just nodded, he didn't trust his emotions at the moment. And this, Hiruzen now gave him a blue scroll, is a special present. Naruto took this scroll and inspected it. It was much different than all the scrolls. Naruto-kun, promise me you will learn all of these, especially that last one. The Hokage now had a serious expression. I will, old man, you can count on it, Naruto said when he suddenly hugged him. Hiruzen was surprised but responded, hugging him back. Thanks for putting up with me, Naruto said softly. The third softened. Nonsense, now go, the day seems to be over. It should be him thanking the boy of putting up with an old fool like him. Naruto smiled. Parting, he left. Thanks, old man, I'll train very hard. I know you will, he said, smiling as the boy nodded. Before you leave, come here tomorrow, I want you to meet your trainer. Naruto nodded and left. Once he left, the Hokage was alone in his office. You're different, Naruto-kun, he said to himself. It's like you are a new person, he smiled. The third walked to fourth Hokage's picture. He has the same aura as you, Yondaime, he smiled fondly at the picture. I wonder, will he be like your counterpart? Does he carry that lineage? The old man looked at Shadaime's picture. You'll be a great ninja, Naruto-kun, it's time you showed it, he said, remembering the conversation they had with Kakashi. What Hokage-sama? Kakashi was shocked to the core. I expect 3 ninjutsu of your respective elements, Kakashi. Hiruzen ordered. Pay it or I have to abide by the law. Kakashi's eyes went wide. But sir, he's a genin. Naruto-kun is a 16-years-old boy who was neglected by his instructor. Kakashi flinched as Hiruzen's eyes narrowed. I want it right away. Hi, Kakashi bowed. You may teach Uchiha Sasuke. Kakashi, the third was stern, I will turn a blind eye of your actions. Who knows what repercussion this may occur. Thank you Hokage-sama. Kakashi sighed in relief as such actions could seriously get him to trouble. I want the scrolls as soon as possible. In 1 hour to be exact. Dismissed. Kakashi nodded. Right away Hokage-sama, he then shunshined. The third sighed, I believe I should also get to it, he left. You will feel like a fool one day Kakashi, that is a punishment enough. He said, but now thinking of something else. My son Asuma is a wind user, he thought, closing the door behind him. The Sandame smiled looking at his window. He watched his people that he vowed to protect in peaceful silence. Konoha Shopping District. As the sun was setting, Naruto ran through the shopping district. He was happy, the Uzumaki couldn't wait till he got home and read all the scroll. This would seriously give him a power-up. Old man's the greatest, he said while he ran. Naruto owed the old man. The old man was kind to him all his life, even when he was hated, he was there for him. Naruto sometimes wondered if the Hokage didn't care about him. He was the Hokage and could stop it. He now knew the reason. Thankx was a bitch. Still the Hokage was a nice old guy. While he ran he bumped into someone. Almost falling, Naruto on alert saw a blonde-haired woman who was familiar lose her footing. Quickly he grabbed her hand and made sure she didn't fall. He now recognized her. It was Sabaku no Tamari. Tamari-san. He let go of her as she recognized him. You're Naruto, right? Naruto nodded. It seemed she was shopping for groceries, considering the grocery bag was an indication. That's right. He smiled at her. How's Konoha? He asked her, trying to start a conversation. I prefer Suna, she admitted. I see what you mean, it's hard to adapt, she nodded. You been training? We'll begin tomorrow probably, he responded. Today was a free day. Same here, she smiled. Naruto wanted to ask her a question. That fan you always carry, it looks very heavy. Tamari raised her eyebrow. It is, actually it's very heavy. She is surprised and Naruto was very surprised. Are you serious? You make it look like it's a tiny fan. Tamari smirked at his praise. Well, it did the job. Yeah, Tenten didn't stand a chance. Naruto nodded. A shinobi must be ready for everything. Tamari said. You don't like her very much, do you? It's not that, I just say what I see. I see, Tamari nodded. Well, I seem to be holding you. Naruto smiled. Your brothers must be starved. Indeed, Tamari smiled back. Have a nice month, Tamari-san, Naruto said. You too, I shall see me in the finals. Naruto-san. Tamari raised her head arrogantly, which made Naruto smile a bit. Call me Naruto. Suffix to my name doesn't suit me. Tamari smiled. I will if you drop the san as well. Naruto nodded. Deal, good luck in the exams, Tamari. The oldest sibling of the Sabaku family nodded. You too, Naruto-kun. The two then smiled at each other, then went their separate ways, into the crowd. He stopped and shook his head. She added another suffix to his name. Naruto's apartment. Balcony. The sun was setting as Naruto leaned on the balcony enjoying the breeze. It seems you can train now, Kyuubi now spoke. Awake from your deep sleep, Snow White, Naruto said, enjoying the scenery. I let that jibe go, brat. Kyuubi hissed. Naruto chuckled. Anyway, yeah, but that teachers of yours, Kyuubi interjected. Keep moving forward, brat, leave anyone behind if you must. I will show them my greatness, I will be a great ninja, Naruto said in space as the wind now bellowed. It will be interesting if you do become Hokage, Kyuubi smirked. You make it sound like I will reject the offer. Naruto raised smiled softly, enjoying the breeze. Will you? You aren't who were before, Kyuubi said. We shall see when the time comes, Naruto said, making Kyuubi smirk as the brat didn't give his answer. This showed that he left his options open. Kyuubi. Yes. Who is Minato? Naruto asked suddenly. Enter soundtrack Akabashi. Wind, Naruto, ending 1. Kyuubi gave no response until he finally answered. Yondaime Hokage. His eyes glowed dangerously at that name, but Naruto didn't know. Naruto raised his head, eyes directly to the sunset. Yondaime Hokage, my dad, he then smiled softly. You have high expectations. Dad, he smiled. Kyuubi, I remember when I listened to this song when I was little. Do you know what it was? Naruto asked the fox. The fox gave no response. The Uzumaki didn't expect him to. I remember the lyrics, some of it, but it relates to me for some reason. Naruto closed his eyes and hummed. He sang the lyrics. Don't try to look so wise. Don't cry 'cause you're so right. Don't dry with fakes or fears. 'Cause you will hate yourself in the end. You say, dreams are dreams. I ain't gonna play the fool anymore. You say, 'cause I still got my soul. Take your time, baby. Your blood needs slowing down. Breach your soul to reach yourself before you gloom. Reflection of fear make shadow of nothing. Shadow of nothing. You still are blind if you see winding road. 'Cause there's always straight way to the point you see. Naruto now stopped. I won't play the fool anymore. I will attain the Hokage position. He vowed. Kyuubi smirked.